Welcome back to another episode of the Trash Talk Podcast. Today, we're going to get learnt. JJ's going to get especially learnt because he's going to answer a quiz in the second topic on one of his favorite topics. And in the first one, we're going to have we have something pretty interesting prepped. The second one, we'll have a World of Warcraft quiz or Warcraft quiz in general about lore, which is fun, obviously. And we'll see how many JJ get. In my opinion, it's a pretty tough one, but we'll get there when we get there. JJ, what are we first gonna do in this podcast?
Well, we are going back to a site that we like taking questions from to start our conversations on this podcast.
The creativity in our office is actually terrible. We need creative person.
Yeah,
and fast.
Suggest podcast topics below, comments. Do it now,
like instantly, like before you even keep watching, because it's like we need it badly.
That being said, conversationstartersworld.com/questions-2-ask-a-guy.
You can also just link it in the description.
Oh, actually, I usually don't do that, but we can do that. Yes.
What questions are we asking?
These are 200 questions to ask a guy.
Any guy. That's great. It's like so unspecific. You can ask this to anyone.
And since we're both guys,
yeah.
I mean,
can we find a questions to ask a dude? Because that's like even women, like there's everyone.
I mean, they have a question to ask a guy and question to ask a girl articles, so you could use whichever one applies.
Yeah.
Assuming that one does apply.
Are they like the exact same questions, by the way?
Okay, now I'm curious.
Because why not? Like it's so unspecific. Like what is it? What is supposed to be the major difference?
What's your favorite dress or something? I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
okay, there might be a different order. I don't know. But why come up with 200 individual questions on both categories, right? That makes like no sense.
I mean, from what I've seen, the questions to ask a girl are just as generic as the questions to ask a guy.
So what does it matter? So you could.
So you know what we're doing next podcast.
You can also just make a list of 400 questions to ask, just blank.
No.
Because
you want to get as many clicks as possible.
Target audience,
and every article counts as a separate click.
Mm-hmm. You need target audiences.
That too,
big time.
And also, like again, like you're just gonna sell more ads that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Use an ad blocker, except when you're watching our videos.
Internet marketing 101. Ask some questions. Let's get them answered. Most of them probably.
Well, there's 200 questions. We're not going to go through all of them, but we're just going to start.
Most of them are also not factual questions, as far as I understand this. There's not like in the philosophical question. Most of those are opinion stuff.
Yeah, like for example, what was your best drop the mic moment?
What was my best drop the mic moment?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't drop mics. This is expensive electrical equipment.
Figuratively.
Figuratively. I don't know, man.
Also, I have dropped the mic before.
Yes, you have dropped.
Not intentionally.
He has actually literally dropped. That was not the best moment, though. That was the bad moment. The mic that we're currently recording.
What was the least bad drop the mic moment?
Literally dropped before by JJ. That's correct.
It still works.
I don't know what my best drop the mic moment was. It's tough to remember.
I do remember one specific one. Which was pretty good. I can't definitively say it was the best. But there was in class at one point.
Oh yeah, in class they happen a lot.
A teacher was telling a story that I have since found out to be false, but that's not the point. Where supposedly she was talking to my mother, which my mother later told me that she had never met the teacher, so there's that. Right. But you know that happens sometimes, right? Like parent-teacher conference. So and then supposedly my mother had literally said something along the lines of like I don't know what to do with this kid anymore.
JJ says, "Well, it's too late for an abortion now." Yeah. I actually remember that. That's figuratively a pretty good mic.
I mean. It's not. I'm usually not that quick on my feet when it comes to like the retorts, but that was a good one.
That definitely.
That actually also did end up making it.
I have one now too. I have one now too. So you know my history class, right? Like my history major. So we were on a trip, and like they were all like, of course, we're in Germany and stuff. So even though the teacher was also English teacher, they were quite particular about me. Speaking really bad English-German mixery at the time already.
That was great because like I remember times when that teacher was actively complaining about it. Right. Like, so, we were talking, like, the teacher comes like, the fuck?
So, like, all the other people in the class, too, right? They were all always, like, whenever I said an English word, they were like, come on, speaker. And then we were on a class trip, and we were going to Belgium and France because of 100 years of World War One, and we were doing the whole historical thing, obviously, because we majored in it. And we are it's our first day there, and we're in this Belgian hotel / like village sort of thing, and we just regularly talking, and I once again say some English words within a German sentence, so some bastardized language, and the girl next to me is like, "Come on, speak German. We're in Germany here," and it's like 2 seconds pass, and she notices what she said, and I'm like, "You really walked into that one," and everyone laughed because we were in Belgium.
Right.
But she figuratively said, like, "Come on, we're in Germany. Why are you speaking English?" sort of thing. It's like, no, we're not in Germany. We're not. So that was, I guess, figuratively a pretty good drop the mic moment.
Yes.
That was good.
That does remind me of a different one that also happened on a class trip, but that one would be lost in translation, so we're not going to go.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's move on, man. What's up? What's next?
What childish thing do you still enjoy?
Video games?
Yeah, the problem is that I think most of the childish things that we, and more so me than you, of course, enjoy are probably things that have starting to become more accepted for adults as well. Because the zeitgeist just shifted a lot, so... Not a lot.
I guess I want to say stuff. Well, for you, it's probably more pronounced in terms of like.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Dungeons and Dragons and Minecraft and stuff. I wouldn't call games that I play particularly childish, even though they are, of course, not the most adult thing ever. Also,
but again, that's also generally something that I would argue has become more accepted overall for adults who do all of the above. So that I don't know.
Like the Wednesday Frog, maybe does that count? Like just silly memes, like very silly memes.
The thing is, the meme generation is also growing up, right?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of them are sticking with it. That's the problem, I think. And overall, I think it's a good thing. It's just a problem with the question, of course. That our society has become a lot less judgmental of those things as being childish. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I would argue that people are generally being called childish, less so, and if so, then more because of childish behavior and less because of childish interests.
Yeah. Okay, the question is what childish things do you still enjoy, but I can tell you very specifically what childish thing I still hang on to. I still have a baby tooth.
That's weird, sure.
I probably always will, because there isn't another tooth there. I only have 27 teeth, fun fact.
Oh, right, we use that once in like...
Yes, I have 5 teeth less than the normal adult, and I still have a baby tooth, and it probably will never fall out unless it will one day, in which case I'll have a gap in my teeth. But that's also, I guess that counts.
What is the biggest doubt you have?
Shape of the Earth. Just kidding. I do not doubt the shape of the Earth.
I thought this is
on what dimension are we talking about? Are we talking like the most meaningful, as in like what, like is the universe finite? Is existence finite or infinite or something, or what? What are we talking about?
I mean, I guess there is a couple different ways to go with it. Though I would think that it's probably supposed to be something that's a little bit practical, at least, because of course I would argue that everyone has some doubts when it comes to like the edge of scientific understanding.
I guess like the ability of the human race to sustain itself and survive for the long-term future, as in we're talking tens of thousands of years into the future, and the colonization of different planets and stuff.
Yeah, the problem is I like this question. I don't have a good answer.
Can we manage to not completely mess up the Earth before we can leave it, sort of thing, and then just like situate ourselves?
I doubt that we can. So
that's one of the doubts.
I
guess that's a pretty important one too.
Oh, do we? I guess that's not a. If you have a good story for this, otherwise we're gonna skip it. Who has completely lost your respect?
Who has completely lost my respect?
The thing is, since no one knows our friends, we can't really go there. You'd have to tell a good story of why.
So I have to think,
or someone but like the story of why they lost your respect is interesting enough.
So I have to think of someone who like I respected once and no longer do at all.
Yeah, and then there has to be either has to be someone people know, or there has to be a good story there.
Paul McCartney, I guess, because like I appreciated him a lot as actually all of the Beatles basically, individually. Paul McCartney because he was of course a great magician and he gave cool interviews and he's a humanitarian and all that stuff. So it's like pretty cool dude. But then when like the whole Article 13 discussion happened with Europe, he was like in massive support of that and like super into the centralization of like records and stuff. And I'm all about like free open source everything. So that definitely is a big L. And John Lennon in a way too, because he was also pretty much an asshole. Like he was exactly the opposite of what he always sang about, sort of thing. So yeah, the Beatles basically as people, I guess.
Okay, sure.
Do you have anything?
No, I don't think so. I generally tend to not like have this like strong respect for people in general. Like, sure, like you respect people as human beings.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the whole thing about like there's two ways of respecting a person. I don't do that very strongly to begin with, and
You don't respect people.
Again, that's why it's important to note there's two different kinds of respect. There is like respecting someone as a human being, and then there is like placing them above others. Sort
But
of
like respecting the achievements of someone.
I mean,
What someone's existence stands for. That
I tend to not have strong opinions on most people. If so, then probably only people I know personally. So
I actually definitely do. So.
I mean, I have strong opinions on some people that like I've known personally, but first of all, I don't think has been anywhere with like a huge shift over time, and secondly, there's nothing to really that would be interesting to an audience. Okay, I'm not sure if you have an answer to this one, but what movie do you wish life was more like?
Boy, I don't know, man. I mean, maybe like, are we talking about like something supernatural where everyone has superpowers? Then I guess like that sort of thing. But what movie do I wish life was more like? Forrest Gump, not because of all the racism, but because he's an exciting story. So, I guess that's like, and it's also one of the movies that I know.
I mean, the thing is, right? Intuitively, I always want to say anything fun with like fantasy sci-fi sort of a thing, because those are always exciting. But the problem is that oftentimes those also probably aren't that nice to live in as an average person.
Exactly.
So I guess the answer would have to be like any given like lighthearted comedy or something.
Yeah.
Because it seems like nothing bad ever happens in
like
those.
some kids movie where everything's always fine.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Yeah.
But I don't have a concrete answer. I mean, obviously, I would love it if either magic or really advanced technology, which where's the difference even, was real. But there's it's like, hey, you now live in a world with magic, and you can't do magic. It's like,
right.
Great. What's the advantage?
Right? Yeah.
We don't have to talk about how many phones did you break.
How many phones have you broken or lost? 0, as far as I can remember.
I think I once fell with a phone in my pocket and like one of the displays was damaged, and that's about it. And it was one of the old flip phones, and it had like one of those displays on the outside when it was flipped together, and that broke.
Yeah.
Boo fucking who.
That happens.
It doesn't affect the functionality. Who or what is your nemesis?
Not a person, I can say that much. It's I'm not gonna say it outright because of like backlash maybe, but it's let's just say it's an economic system.
It's capitalism.
It may or may not be capitalism. In its present, it may or may not be capitalism. Late stage capitalism in its present Western form. That may or may not be it. I'm not saying it outright. He says as he puts a bottle of Coca-Cola to his mouth, I get it, shut up, it's a consumer item. I'm not gonna starve myself to death for better wages or whatever.
I mean, I'm
a person?
I'm too positive of a person to like actively hate things. I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything.
You don't actively hate anything?
I mean, probably, but I like to not think about it either, so there's that. I can't really think of much. I mean...
How about the Catholic Church? You bought that life?
I mean, I don't like what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like what they stand for too much, but I mean, it's not like I actively hate them. They've never done anything bad to me personally.
Mm-hmm.
How
about the taxes? Because we have a church tax in Germany.
That's, well, I mean, if you are not a member of the church, you don't have to pay them.
You indirectly still pay it. You don't directly pay it. Because it's obviously enforced by people that are paid by taxpayer money. So you pay their working hours, which means that you indirectly still pay for the church. Which is terrible, by the way, but that's Germany.
I think it's also the only country in the world.
Yeah, like Germany, like we are the one person who does it, because German nobles 500 billion years ago once disenfranchised the church or something, and like now we still pay him like in this. It's like the most stupid thing.
I mean, it probably doesn't help that the chancellor and the reigning party in general has been like the fucking Christian socialists.
Exactly.
Wait,
not
Christian
socialists.
Democrats.
Yeah, Christian conservatives. Yeah.
there's
Democrats is like
Christian Democratic Union is the party name. I was
it's in the party name.
I was actually thinking of the other ones, the Christian Socialist Union for whatever. I mean, technically it's both. I think because they
don't make the mistake of thinking that we're talking about socialism. We're talking about very very backwards conservatives here.
Yeah, no, I mean we're talking about the Christian Party. For fuck's sake. They've been like in power for like ever
20 years.
Like since memory, so
last time we had a chancellor was a social democrat. He was so terrible that like everyone turned away from them. The party's basically dead now, which is probably good because they also turned to crap. And yes, now we're stuck in this garbage. That's Germany. What else?
What is the most useful thing you know how to do?
I don't know, man. This is gonna be something that I answer in 20 to 30 years when I hopefully have had success with something.
I mean,
and then I can tell you how I did it.
The thing also is, right, I can think of some useless, quote-unquote useless skills you have, but they could probably put to use, like you're pretty good with cards, right? But like people make a career out of that. You very likely won't.
I can probably pull a quarter from someone with a nifty card trick, but that's not the most useful thing. I think we could answer this by saying like the will or the ideation of wanting to achieve big stuff, sort of thing, like just the attitude. Because without that, no matter what your talent would be, if you don't pursue it, right, like sort of thing.
But that seems very useful, right? What? The most useless?
Oh, the useless! I thought useful the whole time.
Sorry, useless.
I thought useful the whole time. What's the most useless thing, you know? Oh, many things. Yeah, like car stuff, sort of. Yeah.
Sorry, I must have not
spoken a lot of just random stuff, yeah. Just useless.
I mean... I can do a chalier cut.
I can tell people if they have the correct name for their face.
Thing is, I don't even think I have that many useless skills per se. Like, I'm probably reasonably good at some video games, which is like...
No skill is completely useless, first of all.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, right? Like, you can still make something with your card tricks. They might not be... Like, you might not be good enough to, like, make an entire career out of it. Exactly. Although you could probably train to do it if you really wanted to. Yeah. And even then,
gotta be something like,
you can do the whole scam school thing where you can get a free...
something, like really something that makes no sense.
You get a free beer out of it.
I can like, move the muscles in my nose, for example. Only 1% of people can do that. I can do that. But it doesn't help me with anything.
I found a question that is probably not on the girls' list. What is the worst and best thing about being male? I mean, it's... Probably the counterpart question is going to be on there, but yeah.
This would have to optimally be answered from an objective point of view, which is tough.
I mean, the thing is, the best person to answer would in theory be one who has experienced both. Yeah. But in practice, it's never going to quite happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's an attitude thing, sort of.
I mean, I would assume that trans people that are like that after the transition have been at least outwardly indistinguishable would probably be the best to answer it from like most standpoints, but even then biological is still a little different.
See, because I would answer like I would say as an advantage something like, because of related to stuff that I like I can play football and I can lift weights and stuff, which of course women can also do that, but
I was about to say
not
that,
as much, just
both of those
because of their physiology. But then again, women tend to not enjoy like contact sports and fight sports and weightlifting as much on the rate. They do still, but not as much in the same type of situation. So,
I mean,
tough to answer.
I mean, there's of course I would argue there is the like kind of quote unquote obvious answers where it's like men have build muscle mass more easily. Men tend to be better at logical thinking.
Okay, so just the physiological...
women tend to have better
things.
Emotional intelligence, or I guess if we're talking about men, it's like men tend to have
better
worse
analytical intelligence,
intelligence, and then like women distribute body fat better, but they also tend to have more. It's like there's like a lot of those very minor biological and psychological differences.
Yeah, so socially we have pretty much like this, like 120, like 100 or more than 100 years ago, there's always big answers, but because we have society mostly, at least in the Western world, shaped in a way where men and women are equal, it's luckily not that much of a difference outside of the physiological.
I mean, the thing is, there's a lot of things I could point to that are different in like perception and stuff like that.
Of course. But legally, at least, like, if you look at, for example, like, 200 years ago, it's a completely different story.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes, especially in more male environments, you're probably going to be taken more seriously as a man. That's, like, because of biases. Like, there's like women tend to have an easier time finding partners, like
individual biases still.
And then we have like the systematic biases almost, where it's like women tend to win legal battles over children or over sexual stuff. But there's always points on both sides there, and they're all rather specific. I would say
that's not systematic stuff. Like if you asked this question in 1850, that's like, what's the disadvantage of being a man is like you have to go to war, and the advantage is everything else, basically, because of how society is.
I mean, there is still some countries where that is.
I mean,
there's no like hugely active force, but the draft is oftentimes still, most countries it's they don't draft women.
Yeah, that's true, but that's also boils down to the physiological side. They also don't draft women to the NFL for the exact same reason, right?
I mean, yes.
So
it's a little bit of a generalization, though.
There's opportunities.
I'm pretty sure there is men that might have been drafted that would be like less capable of like serving effectively in the military than the most capable woman, for example. Probably. But again, we're still looking at extremes. So, what is something that most people get wrong?
That milk is good for your bones. I like to bring this up every time this question is asked. Milk is bad for your bones. That is something. The vast majority.
Carrots aren't good for your eyesight either.
No. And also, like, refer to, like, 2 or 3 weeks back, my fast of the week about animals and food. Cats don't digest milk well, they get sick. Ducks choke on bread. You catch mice with peanut butter better than with cheese, for example. Stereotype, like a lot of generalization that it turns out not to be true. But yeah, a lot of ad campaigns, and the milk is a very notorious one. Milk is bad for your bones, not good. Just an ad campaign, and like 2 generations before us chose to believe it as a collective, and it's passed down ever since.
Yeah, I think the carrot one is actually like war propaganda, where I think the British, I think it was the British who had night vision goggles or something, like not like in the most modern sense, but and then basically the question came up like, oh yeah, like why can't they see so well in the dark? And they were like, hey, we eat a lot of carrots. Yeah. I think that's where that originated.
And then
from.
You can talk about like historical misconceptions that people might just not know if they're not big into the subject. Like Abraham Lincoln wasn't necessarily against slavery, for example.
Yes.
He only used the abolishment of slavery as a lever to win the Civil War.
Like a lot of those old Roman and Greek statues, they used to not be blank marble. They were painted. Yeah. But the paint that deteriorates over time, where the stone mostly stays intact. Yeah. Exactly. Not exactly either, but you know. So there's that.
Exactly.
There's a lot of those small things. Yeah. I don't think there's anything like fundamental or important.
Hitler was German, or born in Germany. He was born in Austria. I mean, those sort of things. But I'm not even sure if most people get that wrong at this point. It's more of a generalization to say that they do.
I mean, there is definitely some important things that some people get wrong, but it's not the majority stuff. Like the whole anti-vax thing is just
flat earth.
That's dumb. I'm not even. You know what? That doesn't even bother me as much. I mean, it's still wrong, but
it's arguably much more insane, but less dangerous to
people. Right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, as long as there's no militant flat earthers who will like shoot others, sort of thing. Then I don't.
And that's what anti-vaxxers are. They don't shoot people, but they give them the plague.
They still let them die. Yeah, basically.
What would you not do for $5 million?
What would I not do for $5 million? Kill myself, like die, basically. Like anything that involves me not being able to do anything with the money. Like I would not kill myself. I would not put myself into a permanent coma. Like anything that sort of realm, right? You know what I'm talking about. Anything that makes the money useless.
Generally not. If like permanent harm upon myself.
Yeah. Would you cut a finger off? Pinky finger, left pinky finger off for $5 million. This thing, $5 million? Take it. You can have it. I'll do it myself. Rusty hatchet. I'll do $5 million. It's a pinky finger.
I already now know what. I pretty much knew this before, but I know what kind of person.
It's life-changing money for a pinky.
You're the kind of person who will cut off their hand to get an insurance claim. I get it. Yeah.
Not insurance claim. But in this extreme example, $5 million, I will cut off a finger as long as it's not a thumb. And a thumb, I'll think about it. But like, I'll cut a pinky finger off for $5 million. I
like my fingers.
I do, but $5 million is life-changing. That's generation life-changing. So what would I not do? Yeah, anything prevents me from being able to do anything with the reward that makes it useless to me. Like die in any sort of way voluntarily. That I would not do.
I have a lot of things that I wouldn't do for $5 million, or most of those for any amount of money for that matter. Not that $5 million is even... I mean, it's a lot.
It's a lot. If you know what to do with it, it's like 1,000,000 times as much, too.
That's true, yeah.
And if you don't, it'll still carry you for the rest of your life, by the way. But if you do, it'll carry, like, everyone in your entire family tree that's to come for hundreds of years for life and forever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that my family tree will end with me.
I'll give a pinky finger. Anyone want, like, pinky finger for, like, Bill Gates, man? You need a left pinky from a white guy? Like, you got some money to spend? Hit me up. You can have it. Send me a surgeon. We'll do it, like, next week. I don't care. It's a pinky finger. A lot of dough. We should make that as like we should ask more people that. Would you give a pinky finger or say a single toe for $5 million?
Dude, the toes are probably worse.
Because of balance and stuff? Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Losing one of the little toes can really mess with your balance.
That might be
like
true,
you wouldn't think so, but that's actually, those are quite important.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, fingers are important too for, reasons, but walking is a thing that you should be able to do unimpeded. I mean, you couldn't, by the way, like, losing toes, mess with your balance, you can learn to live with it, don't get me wrong. But,
I'll give a finger. I might give a toe. For that much, yeah, I will.
What long shot have you taken that really paid off?
I want to almost say, like, YouTube, but it's maybe too braggy or like too bold to say it paid off big.
Yeah, the thing is, we can hopefully say that in a couple of years.
Yeah, we hopefully will say that eventually. But it's definitely a long shot that we took, that we committed to long term, and it has worked decently well. Better than we originally expected, at least.
Well, yes, but to be fair, I went into this without expectations. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess that's still in the progress of paying off or something, I assume. A lot of them, again, I would say that I've taken them, but they're still in the process of happening. And like once they pay off, or as I hope they will, then I can say. But like not a lot have been completed, sort of thing.
I haven't even taken that many long shots, I think. I mean, I haven't really done anything that's like that. I mean, yeah, sure, we did the YouTube thing, but even that is like, it's a hobby that now just happens to make a very tiny amount of money.
Like an infinitesimally small amount of money, yeah.
It's like, I don't really do like very out there things generally. I'm a somewhat careful person.
Yeah, but maybe that's that you could formulate it that way. You haven't done anything insane and stupid. You've refrained from garbage. Yeah,
but that's not a long shot, that's just reasonable.
Well, yeah, but a long shot, like, still, it's an abnormal thing if the majority of people do it. Like, you have never crack cocaine yourself to half death in Florence on your first night there, sort of thing. Like, that sort of thing, right? Like, long shots. I've never taken a drink of alcohol, I've never smoked a cigarette, never done any type of drug. That is, by all intents and purposes, unfortunately, quite an abnormal long shot that is going to hopefully pay off.
I don't think that's exactly what the question even intended, but
hey.
If you could... This is a weird question. If you could learn only one magic spell, but it would only do something mundane and boring, what would the spell do?
What does mundane and boring mean? I mean, so I guess it's... You know what my first thought is, right? I guess I can't multiply money or anything like that. I can't do anything that would help me in any way financially.
I mean, the real question is how do you define mundane? Because magic, by its inherent attributes, is
pretty crazy,
the exact opposite of mundanity, mundaneness, mundanity. Is that right? Sounds about right. That being said, boring. I mean, duplicating money is inherently exciting, right?
It's pretty boring, but like it's pretty useful. So if that counts, anything that helps financially, duplicating money, for example.
And I mean, if it can't be that useful, it would just be something small that you do on a regular basis that would just save you that little bit of time. Like how about like instantly refilling a cup of coffee would be something for me that would be like surprisingly really useful.
Yes.
Especially if that doesn't require resources, because then I save...
It's not like big time or anything.
Yeah, no, just, but that would be relatively small and boring. But, not having to like get up like... ludicrously high amount of times every day.
Exactly.
Like I'm talking like 5 or 6 times a day.
You need to get a coffee machine in this room.
I mean, yes, that wouldn't help much, but sure.
It would help quite a lot.
Well, it would still require water, and you don't have a drain in here, so I would still have to...
But it doesn't require a full filling of water every cup, right?
No.
So you fill up in the morning?
I think our machine does about 3 or 4 cups, probably.
Right. You can get a bigger machine, too, and then you can just fill it up once in the morning.
I mean, you can get one that is directly connected to a water supply. It's not necessarily a problem. And believe it or not, that's something that I'm definitely considering for if I ever get, like, my own place, you know, because it seems like something that would actually pay off.
But yeah, very mundane, boring matters. Just a mildly useful thing. Whatever is allowed. If anything financially, I'll take the financial thing. If not, just something that's mildly useful.
Yeah, I mean...
Given thing. Let's do one more and then go to the further segments.
I could generalize this, like, fill up, like, a fluid container with the last fluid container or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Because then you could fill up the coffee cups, you could fill up, like, these water bottles, like...
free gas forever? Just snap your finger at your car?
I was thinking that you could definitely... I think there's a lot of small and boring things that, if used creatively, can still be very profitable.
Of course, yeah, sure. And that's what would be the main thing to find out, which that would be. Let's do one more, and then we get into the next segment.
You wake up suddenly, in the middle of the night.
Suddenly, middle of the night.
What would be the scariest sound to hear after waking up? A crying baby.
Really? Is that the scariest? What's a baby gonna do to you?
I don't know. But, you know, wouldn't it be really weird if all of a sudden... I mean, it would probably be more weird.
It would be, like,
scary.
weird and annoying, but not, like, scary. We're talking about, like a 60-foot-tall robot, like, armed to the teeth outside your window with, like, super advanced alien technology that will obliterate you.
I mean, I guess gunshot would probably be...
Yeah, some sort of, like, major violence sort of thing. Any sort of situation that will kill you, like, very quickly.
I mean, there's multiple kinds of threatening, but I think that, like, actually, like, danger to your life would probably be
tornado siren, maybe. That's more cerebral.
The hiss of a snake.
The hiss of a snake. Yeah. Anything that is immediately threatening to kill you, I guess.
That baby will kill you if it gets the chance.
That baby will not kill you. It doesn't get the chance. It's kill or be killed, man.
Fire, probably. Crackling of fire would also not be very pleasant to wake up to.
Just, anything that just kills you.
I mean, the actual, like, danger to life stuff is probably scarier than the, like, very inconvenient...
The creepy, uneasy stuff, it's not that really that scary. It's just annoying.
You know, if you wake up, like right now, like...
From my dream that I'm having right now, yeah.
No, I mean, like, within, like...
Yeah.
Say, like, within this year at some point, you, like, wake up and all of a sudden there's a baby crying. It's like, who did not have a baby? What happened?
Who put this here? Come on. Yeah, but it's, like, not scary. It's just annoying.
I feel like babies are, like, one of those horror movie tropes where it's, like, they are kind of creepy oftentimes. But
are they? Yeah. Like, in reality? No. Like, not at all. In this, like, the least creepy thing in the world. I don't know why. It's usually because, like, in horror movies, they'll do weird stuff. Like, they'll twist their neck 360 and stuff.
That would be pretty concerning.
Like, possessed by demons. Then it's different, because then they're a threat to you, but no.
I'm of the strong belief that all children are possessed by demons.
I very much doubt that, but let's get into the fact of the week, and then after that we're going to hop into the halftime show and the second topic. Well, JJ, what is your fact of this week? I'm going to need to look mine up.
My fact of the week, funnily enough, low-key relates to something we talked about.
What
you know how we talked about, like, the whole, like, men and women thing a little bit?
With the advantages?
Yes, yeah. I mean, this is not directly about the advantages, it's just about something that I thought was very curious. So, I have recently gotten back into wrestling.
Graps. Vincent's House of Incidents.
For example, yes. And I found out something very surprising about the older days of wrestling.
What up? Men used to wrestle women, or were able to wrestle women.
Oh, really?
More easily before PG, yeah. Like, remember when Kane almost chokeslammed and stuff? I mean, or like China was in the Royal Rumble.
I mean, other promotions still do that. Nia Jax was in the Royal Rumble as well. That was very recently. Tessa Blanchard is currently the Impact World Champion, so it's like that's a thing. I thought you meant like way. I'm talking
not like I'm not sure like full force or anything, but like it definitely used to be more acceptable before the PG era, because now they just can't show it. But yeah, what is?
Here's something interesting, right? So, a lot of the, like, world titles go, like, far back, and you can, like, trace them to, like, where they splintered off and stuff. Mm-hmm. Some of the older titles that are still around are the NWA ones.
Yeah.
But those, at least the main World Heavyweight Championship and the Women's Championship, are traced back to one title each that existed before them, that they are basically direct successors of. Like one night, someone was like, hey, like the NWA was like, hey, like this title match for like the World Heavyweight Championship and like the World Women's Championship is like now for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship originated in 1948 and traces itself back to the original World Heavyweight Championship, which goes back to 1905.
All right.
The original Women's World Championship is older.
Right.
It's from the 1890s. It's like 10 to 15 years older than the men's one.
Right.
And the same is actually true for the NWA Women's Championship as well, which is, I want to say from 37. I don't remember, actually. I should have written that down. Which is from 30. So it's also like about a decade older, which I thought was very surprising considering that in recent-ish times, women's wrestling has been a little bit meh for the most part. There was like the whole like when WWE had like the Divas Championship.
Yeah, and they switched like, they had pillow fights and stuff. It was
terrible.
terrible.
That was
awful.
done. So it felt at one point like right around when the like women's revolution happened in WWE, like women's wrestling really improved in WWE. Specifically, other promotions
they
were
pushed some definitely some better people there.
I mean, other promotions were better at that before as well, but it felt like that was a thing that was improving over time.
WWE, like the women on the WWE roster from like 95 to 2010 were just absolutely awful, like just garbage.
Yeah, which I thought, because again, it seemed like women's wrestling was an upward trend, right? Mm-hmm. But clearly, historically, maybe not more important, but a longer history, at least in terms of championships, than the male counterparts.
So yeah, that kind of goes to show that wrestling is more of an entertainment circus sort of thing than a sport, because they don't discriminate, man. Even over 100 years ago, you know, just women did wrestle. Interesting point. So that's definitely a fun fact. Here's another fun fact: the longest rail travel that you can undertake on the planet that is called Earth. You want to guess where, like, what kind of distance it goes, like from where to where, and how long does it take?
I mean, you would assume that it's probably like maybe like a Europe to Asia sort of thing, because there is like
big landmass.
Yeah, because like Eurasia is one of the bigger landmasses that also very populated all over the place. I doubt that it goes down to Africa. I think there's still like a little bit of water in between there. I mean, what would it be like? Somewhere in like Western Europe to maybe like East Asia somewhere.
It's pretty much that. You hit it there. I was thinking, does the Panama Canal have a railroad cross? I don't know if it does, because then you could be thinking like Alaska to Chile or like Cape Horn or whatever.
Yeah, but is there really much of a rail network in Alaska?
Is the thing, right? So the longest rail travel in the world actually leads from Lisbon in Portugal, from outside Lisbon, to Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, and it takes 14 days. Longest connected rail travel that you can take consistently without any other form of transportation, get from one place to the other. So that is a big distance. That is my fact of this present week. So that's the fact of the week. Let's do what we always do, or sometimes do, and let's talk about some halftime stuff. What do we have?
Remind me, which I think we did Colors of the Rainbow last time, right?
We did Roy G. Biff last time, exactly.
That means
we got crosswords.
Yes, right. That we should mention that. Crosswords, these ones. And we did,
Sunday crosswords.
As I said, Colors of the Rainbow last time.
So we got
The Breeze of Fall.
The Breeze of Fall in February. It's crazy.
And nice colors, I guess.
Fall colors. Okay. What do we have?
Raise Up. Lift. Yeah. Warm outer wear.
Jacket?
Yes. Flooring material. Polyvinyl carbonate?
No, that does not fit in any sort of situation.
Yeah, I know. I'm Control V
is paste.
Paste. 9th month is weirdly enough September.
Yeah. Because of calendar shenanigans.
Drinking lodge.
Drinking lodge. As in a bar? Well, logic. Like tavern? Yeah, tavern.
Yes.
There it goes.
Enthusiastic fervor.
Boy. I don't know.
Well, let's see. Let's do the cross ones, I guess. Not living.
Inanimate.
Yeah. Tree fruit.
Tree fruit. Apple?
Apple.
It's a fruit on a tree, yeah.
Apple. There we go.
Apple.
Let's do the... Wait, there's no cross one there. So this probably. Stop standing. Sit down.
Sit down.
Fuck's sake.
The TK thing, maybe?
Yes, I was thinking we do...
Heat-related?
This one as well.
Thermal?
Heat-related thermal, yes. I would think so. Yes, correct. TK, this one.
Dining
option. Takeout. It's 2 words. It basically says takeout.
Yeah.
There we go. Did we have another cross up here? No, we don't. We have still the...
Oh, it's linoleum, right? The
yeah. Linoleum.
With an E.
Where?
Instead of the I, where would it be?
I mean, it probably would be pronounced differently. But... So, yeah, by the way, I think these...
Halloween squash and pumpkin, right?
Yes.
Oh, those all like fall related?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So pumpkin makes sense.
Pumpkin.
Lightning
display.
Let's do the across one from there.
Male parent.
Father.
Yemen's neighbor.
Oman.
Assembly set as a kit. Fall starter.
Fall starter, 2 words.
Lightning display starts with an F, by the way. We have gobbling birds. 7 letters. They're also apparently fall related.
Alright.
Wait.
Gobbling burbs.
What birds?
Yeah.
Is it turkey?
Oh, turkey! Thanksgiving turkeys, obviously.
No.
Turkeys.
Turkeys, oh. Yeah.
Birds.
Yeah, I hate the plural stuff still.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's neighbor.
Texas,
yes, that makes sense. Gathered crops. Harvest, that's too short, isn't it? Harvest, yeah. By the way, we have extra letters for the fall starter, which ends in an X of all letters. Wow. Which is weird.
What else we got?
Not adult.
Juvenile?
Juvenile.
No.
I spelled it correctly, didn't I?
Yeah.
Just checking.
It's not.
Adolescent is too long, isn't it?
Yeah. Underage?
We're thinking too complicated, apparently. So we have this across. Confuses muddles. Plant parts. Seeds?
Maybe.
No, it doesn't fit.
Leaves? Leaves and fall. Leaves. Has to be leaves, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Where were we? Lacking utility.
Useless.
That word came up earlier. Battle route.
Battle route, huh?
Sugary taste. Sweet?
Yeah. Oh, Warpath is battle route. Warpath.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whoops, that R was already there.
Warpath.
I hate when you have to not type. I mean, it makes sense, but what is it?
Foliage retaining.
Yes. Evergreen.
Oh, interesting.
It's weird typing a word with only half letters there. Finger's location is the hand, which actually is not that easy of a question if you don't have any hints. I think
it
single
is
part.
Unit.
What a unit. Lightning display still starts with an F. Fall starters is still a word. Gather crops is still...
Is it autumn equinox? Or am I insane? Like, is it autumn equinox or am I going crazy? N?
What? Autumn... What? N?
Autumn. That's how autumn is spelled, yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
But... Equinox is definitely... But... There's something missing there.
Autumnal?
Fair enough.
That's awful. Oh, that's the worst.
Underground hole.
Ditch doesn't fit. Underground whole cave.
Yes, weirdly enough. Confuses models we still have, but we also still have this, for example, which is witty, ingenious, clever. Magazine installment is an issue. Ruby color is red.
Do we maybe now get the...
Enthusiastic fervor still is partially missing. Lightning display is still partially missing.
Flash? Lightning display flash?
Reminds me of a song.
A song?
Yeah, Flashback Queen.
That's
That Woman Is Her. A theme song for the TV show Flash Gordon.
Oh, how could I not know that, obviously?
And also recently appeared in The Flash, the TV show.
Gather crops. Harvested?
Oh, so it was Harvest.
Oh, it's gathered crops. Yeah. Gathered.
Confuses models. There's probably E there.
Yeah.
We also have enthusiastic fervor.
That's the only two
left. Zeal, right?
Zeal. So
that's
the only one
clever.
Left?
Yes.
We have 12 minutes for one thing. We cannot not win this quiz.
I mean, it's happened before.
Idols? No, it doesn't even fit. Does it fit? Idols. IDE?
That's not how you spell idols, isn't it?
Right, no, that's
There's
not
no E there. Also, confuses models doesn't really have anything to do with idol. I mean, to be fair, the E is just a guess, but...
The first one has to be a vowel, right?
You'd think so.
So, let's say that's an I. Yeah. Now brute force. Let's brute force everything. We'll go through 5 vowels, and then we brute force every letter, because we're not losing this thing. I don't even care. It's probably something we'd come up with thinking, but we're not doing it, because we have too much time for that.
I mean, you'd think that it might both be vowels, right? It could be an L, of course.
Try every letter.
Addles. Right!
Got 'em! Addles? To addle?
Yeah, I mean, it seems very antiquated, but I think I've heard it before.
Well, I don't even know if that seems like a very weird word. Addle. But we got
I'm just happy I came up with zeal, okay?
Man, zeal, man. Yeah, JJ's happy about zeal. Meanwhile, autumnal equinox. I'm not gonna claim that I knew that was like the most obvious thing. I thought I was going insane when I said that too, but it turned out to be right. I pulled out my laptop here, and that's for a reason. Because we're in the second topic. And JJ is getting quizzes asked. Big time. So, JJ, you about that Warcraft life, true or false?
Kind of true.
Kind of true, right? So I also grown to like the universe more and more. But I'm going to ask you this question, right? This quiz, basically. We have 43 questions.
That's a lot.
They're all multiple choice. You get 4 answers.
Oh.
A pop. So
that is easier than I thought.
If you guessed, you're supposed to make around 11 points. But I'm expecting you to...
Make at least 12, yeah.
I'm hoping for you to make between 20 and 25 at least.
Okay.
So 25, I think, is the goal. More than that is good stuff.
Should I do the whole...
No, I see the score. I have it here. I have it on the computer, which is great. The average score, by the way, is 55%. So it's around 25, really. So I'm expecting you to get somewhere in that area, maybe because you know stuff, maybe a bit more even. So let's just ask these questions. What goblin trading company is known for plundering the natural resources of Azeroth? A. The Smokywood Pastures. I'm not going to do the A-B thing. Smokywood Pastures, Blackwater Raiders, Venture Company, Kajaro Trading Company.
I think it's Venture Co.
Venture Co. That is correct. I don't actually have the scores here. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reload the quiz, and then as we play, I'm going to click them so I can actually see your score. So let's do this. Who became the Lich King after Arthas was defeated? Tyrannus Menethil, Tyrion Fordring, Darren Morgrave, Bolvar Fordring.
Bolvar Fordring.
About to say.
Bolvar Fireblood is the card in Hearthstone. I could have probably told you I have a little bit of thought without it. Actually, we can do that if you want. You can ask the question and then I can ask for the options.
Yeah. Before succumbing to magical addiction, the Wretched were once members of which race?
The Wretched? That sounds familiar. Wait, is it... that should be the Draenei, right?
Forsaken, Blood Elves, Humans, Night Elves.
Well, or Blood Elves, yeah. Obviously. Right, I was thinking of the Broken.
What are the final words from this Headless Horseman quote? It is over, your search is done, let the fate choose now, blank. ...
Okay, I definitely don't.
The delightful one, the righteous one, the mighty one, the rightful one.
Oh, I was hoping only one of them would rhyme. Well, What was it?
Delightful, righteous, mighty, rightful.
I'm gonna go with mighty. I'm purely guessing.
The righteous one is correct. What area was reshaped by goblins to resemble the symbol of the Horde?
I definitely need options.
Kazan, Ashara, Mulgore, Durotar.
That doesn't help much. I'm gonna go with Durotar.
Actually, no, it isn't Ashara. I clicked the right answer by accident, so that you got an extra point. Congrats.
Sure.
What was the name of the first Pandaren to ever tame a cloud serpent? Anli, Jiang, Suchi, or Tudo?
See, those names are probably in some sort of Asian language. If I could translate them, that might help me actually. But I'm just gonna go with, was it Jiang?
Jiang. That is correct. Good off.
That's the whole 25% thing.
Which of the following is not a possible result from drinking a noggin fogger elixir? Becoming skeletal, shrinking, breathing fire, or slow fall?
Breathing fire.
That is correct, and I know that actually.
That was one of those like guesstimation things because it's the only thing that sounded useful.
Yeah.
But I mean, slow fall is mildly useful, I guess. But it seemed like the most dangerous / useful one.
What phrase means safe journey in the language of the Draenei? Akal Hekta, Hekt Korta, Aekion Kor, or Dionys Aka?
I'm gonna go with the first one.
Akal Hekta. That is wrong. It's Dionys Aka. What was the name of the human who helped Thrall escape his imprisonment in Durnhold Keep? Arthas Menethil, Jaina Proudmoore, Taretha Foxton, Caramin Langston.
I don't think it was one of the important ones.
The important one.
The first two are like really huge.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna go with the third one.
Taretha Foxton.
Yes.
It is correct. Which Alliance city located in Darkshore was destroyed by Deathwing's return? Ametharan, Aberdeen, Grove of the Ancients, or Lordanel?
I have no idea. I'm going to go with the last one, Lordanel.
That is incorrect. Aberdeen it was. What is a Grommel's most prized personal possession?
A what?
A Grommel's. That are like pathfinders of Pandaria. A yak, a lucky do, a lucky don't, or a backpack?
Backpack. I don't know.
It's a lucky do. By the way, play along at home and let us know your score again. What Pandaria creatures are the embodiments of negative emotions, including doubt, despair, and anger? The Shah is correct. The other ones were vermin and hosen, among others, by the way. But the Shah is correct.
The hosen! Nice.
Monkeys, right?
Yeah.
Who was the brother of Varrock Sourfang and the only orc to fight in the War of the Ancients? Drekthar, Draenor Sourfang,
Broxgar the Red.
Eitric, or Broxigar?
Broxigar the Red, yeah. The only orc to fight in the War of the
correct.
Ancients. I didn't know he was the brother of Sourfang.
Yeah, it's correct. This cult was affiliated with the Orcish Shadow Council and included members such as Nagas and Merez Cowl.
I've heard it before.
The Burning Blade, Argus Wake, the Cabal, or Sargerai?
The Cabal.
That is not correct.
No?
Argus Wake.
Okay.
Which Night Elf was appointed the jailer of Illidan Stormrage?
Maiev Shadow Song.
That's correct. Malfurion was an option. Who was the Naga lieutenant of Illidan and once handmaiden of Queen Ajara? Vashi, Valishi, Nazjar, or Jahara?
Nazjar.
That is not correct. It's Vashi.
Then Nazjar is also relevant.
Yeah, it's also relevant.
Sure.
Crow, threat strong. Continually threatened what specific type of vendor in Shadrath City? A back vendor? Okay, this is like a very gamey question. Regent vendor, fruit vendor, or weapon vendor?
Weapon.
Fruit vendor.
Okay, to be fair,
least intimidating. If I got like a million weapons that I'm selling behind,
I was about to say it's probably not the best person to antagonize.
It's probably fine. But what is the name of the bridge that connects the Arathi Highlands and the wetlands? Dawning Span, Sulfuran Span, Thandal Span, or Severed Span?
Thandal?
Thandal Span. That's correct. What is the highest rank that can be bestowed on a Night Elf Watcher? Keeper, Sentinel, Ranger General, or Warden?
Can you read the question again?
The highest rank that can be bestowed upon a Night Elf Watcher.
A Watcher. I mean, I guess Ranger General.
It is Warden.
Warden. Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Like, because those are all high ranks, but in different categories. Yeah. I don't know what a Watcher specifically was.
Which apothecary cannot be found in Shadowfang Keep during the Love is in the Air event? That's also very Warcraft specific. World of Warcraft specific. Fry, Baxter, Copeland, or Hummel?
Gonna go with the second one.
Baxter. That is not. It's Copeland. Before the Cataclysm, where could the remains of Mankirk's wife be found? The Barrens, Mulgore, Durotar, or Thousand Needles?
Thousand Needles?
In the Barrens.
That was my first intuitive guess. I should have gone with that, I guess.
King Crush, King Mosh, and King Dread are all what type of creature?
They are all... Oh, fuck, what do they call it? They're the big dinosaurs.
Do you want the answers?
Fuck, yeah,
Devil
I shouldn't...
Sword?
Yeah. Thank you.
Ogre was an option, also Gorilla, but cool.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I couldn't come up with... I knew they were dinosaurs, I couldn't come up with the exact term.
Which arm and which eye did Zul'jin lose during his captivity and eventual escape? Left, right, or left, right?
It should be his left arm for sure.
Left arm?
I'm gonna say right eye, I'm not sure.
So left arm, right eye.
Yes. Whichever.
That is correct.
Yeah. Because usually that sort of stuff, by the way, interesting enough, fictional characters with like lost limbs, they're usually a cross.
Yeah.
Because it looks weirder if you're missing all sorts of stuff on one side.
Exactly.
And I know the arm from the Hearthstone art, not that you could see it on the card, but the full art of that.
Which of the following is not an orc clan? Warsong, Bloodfang, Frostwolf, Dragonmaw.
The first one definitely is.
Warsong is dead.
Definitely. Warsong Commander. I mean, yeah, we know that.
Frostwolf, Dragonmaw, Bloodfang.
Frostwolf sounds like something. Isn't that where like Durotar and folks were from? What is it? Dragonmaw and?
Bloodfang.
Like Bloodfang. I'm
Bloodfang, not Bloodfang.
Yeah, it's one of those two. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna go with Dragonmaw because that seems very random.
It's Bloodfang. That's a Worgen clan, actually.
Okay.
And the time also ran out, so now we have to just manually go through them. Bloodfeather, Windfury, and Witchwing are all types of which race? Kaleri, Arakoa, Harpy, or Hippogriff?
Harpy?
Harpy is correct. Windfury Harpy is
Yeah, that's why I was thinking that.
What was the name of the human that kept Thrall as a slave in Durnhold Keep? Galen Trollbane, Aiden Paranold, Davil Prestor, or Eldelas Blackmore?
I'm gonna go with the second one, but that's more of a guess.
Paranold. It's Eldelas Blackmore.
So it was the last one. Cool.
Which musical trinket could be used to invoke spontaneous dancing in others against their will? Piccolo of the Flaming Fire, Haunted War Drum, Flute of the Ancients, Sun Lute of the Phoenix King.
I'm gonna go with the second one that sounded most like it.
It's the Piccolo of the Flaming Fire.
Because the Haunted and instrument is anyways.
What Pit Lord was the ruler of Outland before being imprisoned by Illidan's Stormrage? Want to answer that right away, or want to get the answer?
Wait, is that the one with who gave them the blood, right? That's what's his name? Yeah, just give me the answers.
Brutalis, Magtheridon, Manaroth, or Asgalor?
Manaroth was the one with the blood. The other two are definitely... The first two are definitely also relevant.
I'm turning around a little bit here so you can look at the stuff, but yeah.
I've heard of the first two for sure. I'm trying to remember where I know which one from. I'm gonna go with... Oh god, this is gonna be... The problem is, right, Manaroth would make sense because he did the whole blood thing. But did he stick around is the question. I'm just gonna go with Manaroth because...
It's Magtheridon.
Yeah. I almost had Inclination was one of the first two, but then I was like, Manaroth makes sense. Yeah. And if the other one is 50-50 anyways, I'm gonna go with the most sensible one. Yeah. I had heard of the first three, so...
Who was Jaina Proudmoore's mentor in the Kirin Tor?
Antonidas.
That is correct. The options were Khadgar, Kel'Thuzad, and Modera. Other than Antonidas. Antonidas is right. Which paladin was not among the five when the Silver Hand was originally created? Seidan, Uther, Alexandros, or Gavinard?
When they were originally founded.
Yes. Not among the five.
I'm trying to remember, because Uther was the apprentice of one of the original ones. If he was actually around during the formation is the question. I'm just going to say Uther.
It's Alexandros.
Okay, fair enough.
Uther was definitely around.
The thing is, I wasn't sure because he was like an apprentice at the time, probably, but that's why I wasn't sure if he's like among the founders or if he joined like right after. It seemed like one of those trap questions, but apparently it wasn't. But then again, it would have still been a 1 in 3.
The Night Elves and the Dragonflights stood against the armies of the Courage in what war? The War of the Spiders? The War of the Shifting Sands?
Shifting Sands, yeah.
That's correct. That is the whole Anchorage Temple thing.
Yeah, I mean, I just... This one was one of those where I couldn't have come up with it, but once you said it, I knew it was the correct one.
Razormane and Bristleback are 2 feuding tribes of which race? Quilboar, Knoll, Harpy, Saberon.
I'm gonna go with Quilboar. I'm not sure though, because Razorback sounds like
What dragon appears in the human guise of Lord Victor Nefarious? Sephiron, Sabellion, Nefarian, Itharius.
Nefarian.
Obviously, right?
Yeah, I wasn't 100% certain if it was. I knew it was on the Black Dragons. I wasn't sure if it was Nefarian or Neltharion, the original one, but it's Nefarian.
Which is the name of the desert that surrounds the Caverns of Time? Silithus, Desolus, Tanaris, or Uldum?
The Caverns of Time? I wouldn't be surprised if it was an Uldum. I'm just gonna go with that.
It's Tanaris. Yeah. That's also where Gadgetzan is located. It's like right the next thing.
The thing is, I've barely played World of Warcraft, so like a lot of the geography questions,
the map stuff.
Like yeah, you know the map because you've been there.
I would have known that one. Yeah,
like, I've once been to the Caverns of Time, but I've portaled there.
Yeah, exactly. Who became Ragnarok's second major domo, protecting the entrance of Sulfuron Keep in the Firelands?
The second, I think is it Executus? I'm not even sure.
Shannux, Stackhelm, Bethtilak, or Executus?
Executus.
It's Stackhelm.
Executus was the first one, probably.
I guess.
Major domo Executus.
Who was the first to leave Pandaria on the back of the sea turtle Shenzin Su? Liu Lang, Xiao Hao, Lily Stormsnout, or Shinizi?
One of these is not like the others. I'm just gonna go with Stormsnout.
It's Liu Lang. I think Lily Stormsnout is one of the little kids in Pandaria.
Probably. It just seemed random that one of those had like a regular human language sort of last name.
What is the name of the red dragon whose skull is on display in the Hall of Explorers? Tyrannostras, Kaelstras, Afresastras, or Velestras?
Velestras.
It's Tyrannostras.
Okay.
What is the name of the Maid of Harkoa? Magria? God's sakes. Loknahak, Shrivala, or Anka?
The Maid of what?
Harkoa.
Well, it's probably not Shrivala. I'm gonna go with the first one, I guess.
It's Loknahak.
The one. Okay, fair enough.
Where was Dalaran?
I think I've learned the lesson. The ones you have the hardest time pronouncing usually are right.
Where was Dalaran originally located in Eastern Kingdoms? Tristful Glades, Arathi Highlands, Hillspread Foothills, Civil Pine Forest.
Highlands.
Hillspread Foothills. There's a crater there now.
It moves! Like, how am I supposed to know where it originally was?
What was the name of the once benevolent spiritual leader in Stormwind City that sided with Deathwing? Benedictus, Arthur the Faithful, Catherine the Pure, Grayson Shadowbreaker.
Was it Benedictus?
Yes, it was Benedictus.
Archbishop.
Which son of an Alliance traitor would one day become a leader of the Syndicate? Aladin, Aiden, Aedalas, or Isidin?
I'm definitely gonna go with the third one because you got hard to pronounce his name.
It's Aladin, the first one.
I don't know.
In Zendali, the language of the trolls, what does Atalai mean? The chosen, doting ones, devoted ones, or the faithful?
Well, the last two, first of all, are very similar in meaning to begin with. I'm gonna go with the third one.
It is the devoted ones. That is correct.
The devoted ones and the faithful is literally the same thing. Like
which orc was responsible for opening numerous portals on Draenor and shattering the orc homeworld?
Gul'dan.
Grieve, Skartax, Ner'zhul, Gul'dan.
Gul'dan.
It's Ner'zhul.
Is it Ner'zhul?
It's Ner'zhul. when he was possessed, right? Wasn't he possessed by Killjoy?
Ner'zhul is the original
and he turned into Lich King, yeah.
Yeah.
It says Ner'zhul here, I guess.
Right, Gul'dan opened the first portal, but then...
Dark portal, right?
Yeah, but then it was Ner'zhul who opened all the other ones and shattered. Yeah. I think I've heard that before, but it's like, which orc opened the portal? Gul'dan. Yeah.
Alright, we are through all the questions. So I couldn't keep count all the way through because time expired, but I'm expecting we're in that area. So when the time expired, we had 12 correct answers, and after that there were a couple.
Yeah,
so
11 for real, but yeah.
Yeah, we probably gotten around 20, which is fine. That's close.
A lot of those were very specific.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find a different one for next time maybe, but I said they were gonna be pretty tough. They weren't simple.
I told you before we started with the show. It's boring if I know all of them. It's boring if I know none of them. So,
so that was probably a pretty decent one. I'll put this away. And if you have a specific quiz maybe that you want us to answer, link it in the comments, or
it would actually
use the super brain move, right? DM it to one of us and not the other. So the other one doesn't know the answer.
Yeah. What would probably be also good is if we had an easier quiz, but then we did it without the multiple choice first, and then only the multiple choice is like the last resort sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So that would keep it a little more interesting. When it's like it's relatively easy within the multiple choice. It's like 75% or something, but it's like maybe doable without, so that we can like use it that way.
I'll try to find another one on Warcraft because there's a lot of them.
Yeah, you'd think so.
And JJ will probably be able to answer all of them, at least to his turn. Because this one was very tough. I mean, there were very specific ones, and he got almost half the answers.
Yeah, I don't like the like very specific like location ones.
The geographic ones.
Like the ones that are like I know the lore like to some surface degree.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the like lore questions are somewhat doable. But like the like, hey, like this location, like this very specific term is like
yeah, sometimes it's tough because then you have to really study that exact part of it. So but I think it did pretty well. So we can definitely try that again. We also have a secret plan, of course, to do this in the future, maybe with some guest competitors, which are not to be named at the moment, but this is definitely an idea that's brewing, so make sure to subscribe to our channel to not miss those. But to close this out, we have a song of the week, and we got some music to go with this. So JJ, what's the song of this week?
My song of the week, bit of a risk that it's used before, but I don't care at this point. It's Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes.
That's a very old school classic. I'm not sure if it's been used before. By the way, if you don't know it, you actually do. It's one of those.
Yeah. It's also, by the way, yes, old school, yes, but it's one of the newer songs we've had as our songs of the week, besides maybe some of the Volbeat and Sabaton stuff.
Yeah, it's not that old, that's true.
It's not that old
as a song that everyone's heard ever, because they play it at every sports event ever. But it's not bad. We'll play a snippet if we are allowed to by the almighty copyright gods. Thanks, Paul McCartney, to do that. And my song of the week is Gunslinger's Glory by the Dead South.
I wanna be the very best there ever is. The quickest drawn, the toughest motherfucker in these lands.
Which is also rather new in that regard.
Yes.
I didn't have Dead South.
It's from Illusion and Doubt, isn't it?
It's from Illusion and Doubt.
So yeah, it's relatively new, yeah.
I haven't.
It's newer than
it's newer.
Seven Nation Army for sure.
It's from the 21st century. It's
I mean, they both are, I believe.
Yeah, is this the other one?
I believe Seven Nation Army is from the early 2000s.
Ooh, that's a check now.
I was about to say we're gonna do like research like now.
Let me crack open the can of knowledge as you do the typing.
Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes, 2003.
2002. Let me consume some knowledge on that.
Released 2003, recorded 2002.
Right. Good stuff.
Yes.
So those are
21st century.
Those are the two songs. Go listen to them. They're pretty good. I love the Dead South. They're great. And this is I haven't had the song from them probably since like New Year's when we did the top songs when we talked about them last. So we had to bring them up again because they released an album last year and they're pretty cool. So
yes,
go check those out. But yes, thank you for watching the podcast. Drop a like on it if you did enjoy it. Let us know your Warcraft score. If you played along with the quiz, comments. Let us know if you defeated JJ.
Yeah,
and by how much.
I'm not sure
And
we
I'm
played
not
the
gonna
best way for the play along thing because like sometimes I like shout the answer in the middle of the question.
I'm not gonna believe you anyway. Maybe next time don't do that. We can just make it more professional.
Yeah.
Allow people to play along sort of thing. So let us know what your score was. I'm not gonna believe you if you say it was better than JJ, but you can tell me anyway. And until next time, JJ.
That's it.
That's it.